This video is to speak out against all the backlashers and all the critics to the prominent YouTube chiropractor on YouTube whose name is Dr. Eric Berg. And to be quite honest with you, I'm getting sick of as a follower of Dr. Eric Berg, I'm getting sick of the backlash and the criticism and the critics coming from users on YouTube like the Touchback. I believe it's Mike or Mick the Vegan. There's another one, Nutrition Made Simple, and there's another one, Dr. Lane Norton. So first of all, to begin this video, you know, I'll be unbiased and I'll be fair. We could all agree that based on the research that we've conducted on Dr. Eric Berg, thorough research, mostly through the internet, we could all agree with the fact that he is just a chiropractor, let alone, but he gives great health advice. We could also agree that no, he is not an MD per se, and he is also not a nutritionist per se. So we're all in agreement, even me myself, after running his profile and doing an extensive search on his background. We are all in total agreement that he is neither a licensed MD nor is he a licensed nutritionist. But he is. But what I want to stress and what I want to emphasize is the fact that, uh, despite those two claims being true, he is a chiropractor, and based on the knowledge and information that I researched on the internet, but the prerequisites and the requirements to become a chiropractor is a doctorate degree, and you have to have a PhD in that field to practice chiropractic or whatever the title is. But anyway, all I'm simply saying is that by virtue of the fact that he has a PhD to practice a chiropractor, be a chiropractor such as he is, having the PhD and having a doctorate degree, all I'm simply saying by that is the fact that he does have the intellectual capacity to understand books that he reads in regards to nutrition, to prescriptions, perhaps, the side effects and the prescriptions. So the claim I'm simply trying to make is that as high as his major is and the major that he has achieved, once again, a PhD, he has the knowledge, he has the ingenuity, and he has the intellectual capacity to understand and to interpret such terminology from whatever books that he's studying from. And so, and you could just tell by the way, you know, you could just tell by the way he generates his videos. You never see him looking down his notes, looking down a piece of paper. You know, his intellect, and he seems like he displays his intelligence so well that he provides all this information without looking at books or looking at notes at the same time. I mean, it just goes to show that he knows what he's talking about. I mean, he knows what he's talking about because he's able to interpret, understand the information that he is reading, and yeah. So that's just the point that I want to make. Um, Also, and he's pretty sure that with the luxury that we have nowadays, by the luxury I mean the internet, he knows intuitively that whatever claims that he's making in regards to a certain foods, a certain medications could impact our body, he knows that the viewers that are watching his channel and videos are not only going to the internet for research, but they're also perhaps going through books to confirm and validate all these claims that he's making. So it's not like he's conjuring up and speculating a whole bunch of information as he goes, as he's creating his videos. I mean, based on my experience watching his videos and applying everything he's learned from his videos, he seems to know what he is talking about, despite the fact that he's not a nutritionist and he's not a MD per se. But again, he has the educational level and intellectual capacity to understand and interpret books that are outside of his major, about medicine, about foods, about side effects, about organs, about blood cells. I mean, you name it, anything. And I just thought I'd throw this in there, regardless of the fact that he is neither an MD or a nutritionist. Regardless of that, couldn't or should I say, shouldn't a majority of us agree? Shouldn't or couldn't a majority of us agree that, based on the claims that he has made, does or does not an excessive amount of carbohydrates lead to insulin resistance? That's a rhetorical question, and yes, it does. I know that for a fact because it happened to me. I mean, all my life, way before I even found out about Dr. Berg's YouTube channel. I'm 49 years old, and based on my research, Dr. Eric Berg's first video was 9 years ago, which was, I believe, 2016. So the point I'm trying to make is that far before I even knew about what Dr. Eric was, or who he was, or what he's about, and before I had any knowledge of keto, I was always led to believe all these misconceptions that breakfast was the most important meal of the day, that cereal was good for you, even wheat breads were good for you. I had the false misconception that orange juice was good for you because they tell you that it's rich in vitamin C. They would also, teachers and parents and all other types of mentors that you grew up around would tell you that fruits are good for you, and they also tell you that when you feel weak, you should eat something. That's a bunch of bullshit and misconceptions. Because all those beverages and all those foods that I mentioned, what did they all have in common? What they have in common is two things. Number one, they're high in carbohydrates, and second, and worst of all, they're high in sugar, and it could lead to insulin resistance. Just to give you a short story and rundown of my life, you know, as I'm making this video now, it's May 2025, and when I had a girlfriend, when I was about when I was about 20 through 34 years old, she passed away because she was diabetic, by the way, because her organs failed when she was on hospice. But anyway, sorry for the digression. During that time when I was with my girlfriend, between the ages of 20 and 34, I'll come out and admit it. Again, this was way before I knew anything about Dr. Eric Berg or anything about ketogenic diet or intermittent fasting. But I'll cut right to the chase. I ate a lot of refined foods. I ate a lot of breads. I ate a lot of pasta. I was a huge spaghetti lover. And I think that the staple for spaghetti, one of the key ingredients, is the pasta. I mean, you could have the meat, but what is spaghetti without the pasta? I mean, sorry for the digression again, but when I was with my girlfriend, I enjoyed all these foods that are high in carbohydrates and that could raise insulin. Me and her used to love to go out to hamburger dives. We used to eat a lot of pizza together, a lot of popcorns. That's extremely high also in carbohydrates. Oh, we enjoyed Kentucky Fried Chicken because we had this false belief that we're still young and our bodies, that being so young, our bodies are able to metabolize it. So we had the false misconception that it's okay to eat high carbohydrates by virtue of the fact that our body's going to metabolize it much faster anyway because we're younger. So anyway, all my life I was eating such foods. I'll come out and admit it. I'm not perfect, and I have not done good all my life, and I have not made the right choices all my life. But I've indulged in a bunch of cookies, a bunch of potato chips, a bunch of wheat thins that are so-called healthy friendly. I indulged in a bunch of Triscuits also. Ice cream. I mean, the list just goes on and on, but I'm just throwing some examples out here, so I'm going to move further. I also enjoyed a bunch of Taco Bell, Burger King. Typically with my girlfriend, me and her order a burger, of course it would be with the fries. I mean, what's a burger without the fries? Oh, not to mention a soda. And so, why am I giving you all these examples of all these carbohydrate foods? Well, the reason is because what they all have in common is, again, all the foods that I mentioned previously or just now, they're extremely high in carbohydrates. They're extremely high in sugar in some aspects. And also, they are high in the glycemic index, which again could lead to insulin resistance, causing you to become a diabetic. And, this was a mistake that I was making for so long. And I've been doing this bad habit of eating for so long, up until 2018. 2018, I decided to start going to the gym for the first time in a long time. But the mistake that I was still making was the fact that, regardless of the fact that I cut down on eating out fast food restaurants, I cut down on pizzas, or just any type of fast food overall, I was still making the same mistakes. Why? Because I still believed that juices were good for me, such as acai berry juice. I believed that eating fruits were good for you because of the vitamins, vitamin C, and other vitamins that they had. So in a smoothie, I would put acai berry juice, strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, and boysenberry frozen all into a smoothie with acai berry juice, with honey, and a NutriBullet cup, which is about approximately this size, which is about 24 ounces, give or take. So I'm not trying to give out exact numbers, I'm just estimating. With all the juices, with all the fruit juices, with all the fruit, and especially the honey inclusive, again, just estimating, that's probably about over 100 grams of carbohydrates. And I'll tell you exactly the reason why I was doing it. I was doing it because I had the false misconception before I had any knowledge of keto that I need to load up on a bunch of carbohydrates because I'm going to be doing some extensive workout, which is going to last over 2 or 2.5 hours. And I'll come out and admit I falsely believed that. And what I was also doing before a workout was I was eating oatmeal. According to the back of the nutrition label, if you look at it, for every half cup alone, at least for Quaker oatmeals, it's over 25 grams of carbohydrates. So I'm saying, if you're trying to go on a ketogenic diet, you've already used up 25 grams of carbohydrates, which is half of the threshold on keto. Because on a ketogenic diet, the threshold is 50 grams of carbohydrates, not to exceed that, if you're going to do a ketogenic diet and lose weight successfully. So I'm just letting you know as an indicator that already starting off with oatmeal was a huge mistake, because I'm already past half the threshold of the daily carbohydrate allowance. Because research will tell you that anything over 50 grams of carbohydrates will kick you out of ketosis, or keto is not going to work. So, sorry to digress about myself, but in regards to Dr. Eric Berg, in regards to health, he has to do a great deal of research on a wide range of topics. And with all the research and analysis that he has conducted, I'm letting you know that I'm living proof that the way he taught how to do ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting correctly has really worked. Because when I went to see my nurse practitioner back in March 2024, I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes. And after following Dr. Eric Berg's videos on how to do keto correctly and intermittent fasting, after following it for about a year, or approximately a year, which is about March 2025 as I am making this video now, I went all the way from 193 pounds in March 2024 to 170 pounds now, which is March 2025. So for all you goddamn backlashers and critics making all these slanderous comments about Dr. Eric Berg, if all these claims that he's making is not true, well then how is it that the ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting that he has taught on YouTube has been successful for me? You tell me that. I mean, there is no goddamn conceivable way for him to give me false information and this stuff work. No, all I'm simply saying is that my weight loss would have never been a success, nor will I have reached the milestone that I have now if everything he said was false and he's making these false claims. But he's not making false claims. And in terms of his videos, as I mentioned this in another video, when I click on a video, be realistic with you, when I either click on this video from a phone or from a tablet, it doesn't cost me anything. I'm not losing one single penny out of watching his videos. It's totally free. And all you assholes out there calling Dr. Eric Berg a scam, a quack, and this guy is corrupt, that's bullshit. Because, of all the majority of videos that I have watched Dr. Eric Berg on YouTube, I have never seen him try to push or promote his product. I've never seen him say that my product is very inexpensive, it's cheap, you should try it. I mean, he never tried to force it, he never tried to push it, he never tried to persuade people that it works and to buy it. And I don't appreciate you slanderous assholes out there making it sound like Dr. Eric Berg is some money-hungry, money-making scheme. I'm sorry, money-hungry, money-making scam is what I mean. He's not a scam. I mean, listen, if you choose to buy his supplements on your product, I'm sorry, if you choose to buy his supplements or his products, you do it on your own free will, and you do it because you choose to, and that's the risk you're willing to take because you believe that his products are organic and they don't contain any artificial substances or ingredients. That's the reason why you purchase it, because you entrust in him, not because he's making you. I mean, that's something we need to differentiate that. If you purchase this product, you do it because you want to, that's the choice you made, and not because he's making you or trying to persuade you. So, with all due respect, let's please keep that in perspective. And also in closing this video, I think Dr. Eric Berg wants to present a more not only a natural solution, but he wants to provide a solution through foods and natural substances without chemicals, so that medications can be an extremely last resort. Because I don't know how many viewers watching my video go on NBC, CBS, CNN, or any other cable channel on your local network. I don't know how many advertisements you see in regards to prescriptions like Ozempic, and there's also other prescriptions out there that require a prescription from your doctor, such as a Skyrizi. And I'm just throwing those examples out there, like Skyrizi and Ozempic, and a large number of other prescriptions. What did they tell you towards the end of the advertisement, or end of the at the end of the advertisement? They tell you that to be cautious about certain side effects such as dizziness, fatigue, or nausea, or insomnia, or you name it. The list goes on and on. But the point I'm simply trying to make is that what have we learned from all these prescriptions that they advertise on TV? What we learned is that they have side effects, number one, and second of all, it's always, when you're dealing with any type of prescription that's required by a doctor to sign off on, it's always one side effect leading to another. So in regards to Dr. Eric Berg, you try to, anybody with any logic and anybody with enough common sense would try to find loopholes around that. If anything, you want to make, and I strongly emphasize this, you would want to make prescriptions a very last resort, not your first. Well, why do people make it their first resort? I'll tell you why. Because people panic and they get some kind of illness or ailment, and what they want to do is they want to get a prescription because it works fast, and they want to treat it quickly, and they want to remedy it quickly. And that's the problem. People are so goddamn greedy. Not trying to be judgmental. People are so damn greedy, trying to treat whatever defect that they have with them quickly. And those prescriptions that doctors sign off on, they do work quickly, but you end up paying the price for it because they give you a short-term relief of treating whatever it is, but in the long term, it's gonna have some kind of side effects to a certain degree. But I like the route, and I like the direction that Dr. Eric Berg tries to point his viewers. He would recommend them to eat red meat that's high in vitamins, eat eggs. He never tells people to drink Gatorade as a source of electrolytes. I like his electrolyte powder, by the way, because it's extremely high in potassium, Majority of the ingredients is organic, and also it has trace minerals, and it's not extremely high in sugar, which again can raise your insulin. So yeah, that's all I'm saying is that at least he tries to at least he tries to present a more natural solution to what's going on in our bodies, and trying to avoid prescriptions, because avoiding prescriptions is something you really want to do. And again, I stress, it's something you want as a extremely very last resort. If all else fails and nothing else works, and I'll give you a short story in closing. When I was diagnosed with prediabetes in 2024, March 2024, my health has gotten so much better because during that time, and I believe Dr. Berg, the claim that he was making is true. He mentioned in one of his videos that one of the symptoms for getting up to use the bathroom at night multiple times was insulin resistance. I knew I had insulin resistance for two reasons. Number one, my doctor diagnosed me with it, and second of all, another reason why I knew I had insulin resistance, because again, as I mentioned, it happened to me. I myself was getting up at least 6 times per night to use the bathroom and urinate. And each time that I urinated, it was a very slow flow, and it was a weak flow. I didn't know what was causing it until I went down to see my nurse practitioner at the clinic, and she told me that you're pre-diabetic. And that's all she told me. And at the time, she prescribed to me Flomax, which relaxes the muscle in the bladder. However, a day later, it was not until I watched Dr. Eric Berg's video on YouTube that I understood why I was getting up multiple times per night to use the bathroom, which really exhausted my energy. But anyway, it wasn't until I watched this video that I realized that I was insulin resistant, because I was overweight, and in 2024, despite the fact that I was still working out, doing running, bicycling, weightlifting, and jump roping, and hitting the punching bag the same day, no matter how much exercise I was doing, I was still insulin resistant, because I was getting up multiple times to use the bathroom. And so, yeah, I mean, I was insulin resistant, and as I said, the nurse practitioner didn't tell me why. She just provided me a prescription of Flomax. But I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second there. It wasn't until I watched Dr. Eric Berg's video that I finally understood why I was getting up multiple times to use the bathroom. It was because I was insulin resistant. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be redundant, but I knew that because everything seemed to match. He suggested that if you eat too many carbohydrates, if you eat too much sugar, if you eat too many refined carbohydrates, this can lead to insulin resistance. And despite the fact that I was training extremely hard during my workout routine, I was still eating those high carbohydrate foods. And I finally understood the culprit behind me becoming a pre-diabetic. And I finally understood the culprit of why I almost became a pre-diabetic. So back to all you critics and backlashers and slanderers out there making all these disgusting, rude comments about a man who's trying to help other people with uh with health problems. Again, if everything he's saying is not true, well then how has his methods for intermittent fasting and ketogenic diet worked for me? And not only that, let's cover a couple of more things before I close this out because I don't think I've said enough information. Is it or is it not true that eating excessive amount of carbohydrates could lead to insulin resistance? Is it true also that consuming too much sugar also leads to insulin resistance, which could cause pre-diabetes or cause you to be diabetic? Isn't it also true that breads have maltodextrin, or they have some soy or and gluten, which is inflammatory, and they also have omega-6. I mean, with all due respect, it doesn't take a goddamn licensed medical doctor or licensed nutritionist to read the back of a goddamn nutrition label and logically come to that conclusion and figure that out for themselves. With all due respect, I mean, stop hating the man. He's uploading these videos, and I'm telling you right now, I don't give a shit what you people are saying. When I click on these videos, again, it's not costing me anything. I'm not losing one penny after each and every instance I click on his videos. I'm not losing any money off of it. None whatsoever. And it's not putting me in debt, it's not damaging me financially. And as far as the supplements are concerned, I purchased them because I choose to do so, and that's how I decide to spend my money. Not because I'm naive, not because I'm stupid, not because I fall for this man being a scam or a quack or a money-making scammer. That's a bunch of bullshit lies that you people are making about this guy. And again, I want to stress that it does not require him to be a licensed MD or a licensed nutritionist, regardless of the fact that he is just a chiropractor. And finally, closing this video, having said all that, again, I want to strongly emphasize and make a point of emphasis that he has having a PhD, that he has the practice chiropractor, he has the intellectual capacity to understand the terminology of the books that he's reading in regards to medication, in regards to food, in regards to nutrition, in regards to fitness, or a wide range of topics that include our human bodies and what causes our human bodies to react in a certain way, or side effects and things of that nature. Anyway, I'm going to close this video out. Thanks for watching.